So we are live, Pat, Mindful Pat, Lele here. We are live in the present show. I'm happy you're here with me as well. Let me show as well to all of you, Mindful Pat. Ciao, Pat, how are you?
Hey, everyone. Good to see everyone.
Hi, everyone. So you know that to access and to be here in the present show, you just access ibn.b/the present show live. We are live at this time every single week. So that's the first thing for you. Second thing for you is you can still always ask question or be guest. If you like mindfulness, you want to share your experience, or you don't like mindfulness and you don't want to share anything, you want to be and show that we are, wasting your time with this, then please come to the show. That's actually, we want to be, mindful about everything around and make sure to have this conversation. I have an idea for today, okay? Because I was observing an interesting video that you made, Pat, and it was talking about listening while somebody else is talking, and it seems something so simple. Like, of course, we always listen when somebody's talking. How come we don't listen? But effectively, if you really pay attention to it, we might not do it all the time, right? So, and part of mindfulness, we were discussing also in the previous show, is also a communication. So by being more mindful and doing more of this practice, we can improve also how we communicate with others. So how can we be mindful and, listen better or improve the communication? What would you suggest, Pat?
So, even now when you're talking, right, for this past minute or two, my thoughts would arise, right? I would start thinking about, how you turned on the light, how I thought it was funny, maybe some email came up or something. And I was listening, but the listening would get interrupted. And a lot of times when we listen to people, we start thinking about other things, right? We start thinking about the past or the future. We start thinking about what that person said, or even more often, we interrupt, right? You say something interesting, say about Italy, right? I know you're from there. And then I start thinking, oh, Italy. Oh, I need to tell him something. So I don't forget, I keep repeating it. And you're telling me continually a story, but I already forgot about that, because what's most important for me is I want to tell you what I'm thinking about, right? So either I'll interrupt you right away and say, oh, I was in Italy, or I'll wait till you're done and then just tell you my side of the story, right? So we don't listen as effectively as we can, right?
And maybe, so what can we do in this case? Because I had a very good thought in that moment you said something. I don't want to lose it. So what should I do?
Did you lose it? Do you still have it, or did you lose it?
No. Now, consider a normal conversation, right? Like in a normal conversation, you talk, you're talking, and I don't know how long is going to be your talk, or your speech, or your conversation, but I want to say something to you. Just said that, right? So what should I do? Like, should I still forget about it and it's going to come at one point? So how to do a better conversation and still being mindful about what I'm saying?
It depends the context of the situation, right? So if we're having a meeting about strategy or action plans or items that we need to do, then it's good to take notes, right? But also you start losing focus. So what I do personally is I say, can you hold up 1 second? Because this is really important what you're saying and I want to capture it, right? So then I'll write it down or I'll type it and I'll say, now continue. Or people start talking to me and I say, wait 1 second, because somebody's pinging me right now, or I'm not giving you my full attention right now. Can you just hold on 1 second? I need to finish this, right? And then I go back to them, but acknowledging the fact that what's most important is the presence, is being there for that person. A lot of times it's not very important stuff, right? if you're having like a chit chat about the weekend or things like that, then yeah, it's important. But I think it's even more important to be engaged with that person. But remember, communication is two-way. So if I'm not mindful, I could talk and talk and talk, and then I don't care about you at all. I don't care about your listening. Right? So you also need to know when to stop talking, when you give the other time to respond, right? You could also
And
see
that's
like,
also important. Yeah.
yeah. You could also see in like the facial expressions, right? If somebody's like, oh, they just thought about something, right? Then you might want to stop and let that person talk.
So, and then yeah, that's I come from coming from Italy, right? So that's what I was telling you as well. And I start from a culture where there is a moment of, and you are, why is something vibrating in the same time when I'm talking?
It's Federico,
Exactly.
our guest is calling. He was supposed to show up.
Our guest is coming. Our guest is coming to the show and is not coming. Maybe he's listening. Let me see if he's there.
That's okay.
A guest next week, and so if Federico is listening to this, I invite you for next week. It's going to be very important also to have you. So I was talking about the culture where I'm coming from, where basically, generally, you tend to interrupt each other, and if you cannot interrupt each other, you try to speak louder so that your speech is going on in front of the other, so that you can be heard more. So that's why you spend all the time in thinking about what you want to say, because instead of listening to what the other's saying, because you want really to be the one in the attention. So for me, it was transferring to another country and learning a different culture. That was one of the things I had to learn to wait. And still I'm not good in that. So to wrap up what you were saying. So first thing is to, even if a thought is arising, I should focus on what the other is saying, interrupting, and say, please stop. I want really to fix, to just write it down and then we move on.
I'm losing the connection. I don't know if it's just me or we've all.
Or doing. We are here. We are here.
Okay.
Or we can actually also do something like, for example, observe the other. So focus on observation. Focus on focus.
I'm having Lele internet connection, I think, issues. I don't know if it's mine or yours, but I'll continue. So some other, like, I guess, tips and tricks is to practice, right? So find your friend, a partner, a colleague at work, and just say, let's practice, right? I'm going to talk for 1 minute or 2 minutes, and you just listen to me, right? And every time you start thinking about something else, or you want to interrupt me, or you're trying to interpret or understand what I'm saying, try to put words. As soon as you start thinking, try to focus your attention again on the listening. Hey, Lele. And then switch, right? If it after you do the minute or 2 minutes, then switch and have the person talk or listen, and then you talk. Hello. Lele, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. We sometimes we always have some moments where you don't know or the communication stops, but we are still here.
Okay. So I was telling them how to practice. So I basically went over my little video that I recorded yesterday, and we'll add it in the description below so you can link it. It's like a minute and a half, just telling you how to practice this thing, and just play with it. You know, it's not a set of rules that every time you talk to someone you just have to listen fully, right? Because like Lele was saying, sometimes the person takes advantage of the listener and just will speak and speak and speak and speak. But it's a great way to practice mindfulness. We could, so we'll end, I guess, with the mindful minute. I hope everyone can still hear me. I see that I'm still live. So I will tell a story, okay, and try to listen. Yeah, try to just listen, and every time your thoughts take you somewhere away from my voice, then just jump back to it, okay? And then you can tell the story to someone else and see how their listening goes, okay? So the story goes like this. There's a person walking through the jungle, right? And all of a sudden a tiger jumps out, right? And starts chasing the person. And they're running. They see a cliff. And they slide off the cliff, grab onto a vine, a thorny vine, right? So they're dangling from the cliff with the vine, their hands bleeding, it's painful, and they're looking up and the tiger is, trying to grab at them. So they're hanging on, and they look down, ready to jump on the ledge that's below them, and another tiger shows up on the ledge below them, right? So the person is hanging from the ledge, hand is bleeding, painful, can't hold on much longer. There's a tiger on top, there's a tiger on the bottom, both trying to eat the person. And what do? They notice that there's a berry tree next to them. And they pick off a berry and taste it and say, it's a delicious berry. So no matter what the moment brings, right? The past chasing us, the future in front of us, painful, stressful situation right now, try to find the beauty in the present moment. Whether it's a delicious berry, a beautiful scenery, your colleagues, whatever it is. Yeah. Thank you for listening. And sorry for all the technical difficulties. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Mindful Pat. Thank you so much. So important to close up with what we learned, if we can manage with all the these technical issues we had, is focus on the conversation, focus on try to listen, to not be disturbed with other things. This is going to improve a lot your quality of communication. So, and the practice of being mindful is just helping you to focus more on that particular thing, that's such as the conversation of what somebody else is saying. So if you focus on this, you are gonna much easily, not only listen and hear what the others are saying, but you're gonna be much more appreciated because others feel that they are heard. So they're gonna be, more pleasantly, tell you the things, and your communication will certainly improve. So thanks a lot for this. Thank you, Mindful to live, and see you with the next present show.